Hey, good morning everybody. I was asked to do a straight razor tutorial by Mr. Dave Card from one of the shaving groups I'm a part of on Facebook called It's Just Shaving. So, this is going to be that tutorial. I've been shaving with straight for about 6 months, since December, and I've been wet shaving in total for a little over a year, probably about a year and 3 months now. I started last year in February. So, as always, take advice with a grain of salt. I'd say do that for anybody's video, you know. Big saying in this shaving community is your mileage may vary. So just because something works for me doesn't mean it'll necessarily work for you. So, like I said, just take these tips with a grain of salt, but I'll try to tell you guys everything I've learned. So I want to start off with a razor recommendation, and I'm going to recommend getting a gold dollar, and make sure it's honed by someone else. Mine personally is honed by Anthony Esposito, and he does a good job. I mean, it's a great edge, but he also makes a few modifications on the heel and the toe of the blade. And this one's got wood scales. I'd say as far as the GDs go, this is probably on the more expensive side. I paid $57 and some change to him for this one, and it's because I wanted the wooden scales right here. You don't have to get those wooden scales. I think they have the fake carbon, that's the GD 100s, and the 208s are the two cheaper models, and I'm not too sure how much he charges for those, but I mean, this is a great razor for the price. So I'd recommend that. It's got a round tip right there. Some of the other choices you can get are a square, which is going to be blocked off and straight, Spanish and French, both will have points. I'm going to recommend a rounded for a new guy, mostly because it's just easier to learn how to use. With the Spanish, the French, and square, since they all have those points, even if you do get them muted, they can catch you quite easily. So that's why I'm going to recommend a round point for a beginner. Also, this is, I believe Anthony says they're either 13/16 or they're 6/8, which is going to be the width of the blade. And I'm going to recommend something about this size too, because with the smaller blades, and I do own smaller blades, if you watch my videos, in I think my last video or the video before, I use a Weight & Butcher, and I believe that's 5/8, and I also do own a Assad or TI, and that's also a 5/8. And so I do have experience with some smaller blades, and the weight on the 6/8 razors make them a little easier to use, because you don't want to bear down on your skin, because you're going to start shaving into it. So the more work the razor can do for you, the easier your shave will go. So that's kind of my recommendation on razors. Like I said, try to get a GD with the round tip, because they have those new ones, I think it's like maybe the W58, but one's got like a real custom look to it with a nice point. One's got a French, and I think they have another one that's kind of a more Sheffield style razor, so it's got the barber's notch and a little bit of a smile to it, so more like a Weight & Butcher essentially. So as a beginner, I'd steer clear from those, but you know, if you've got your technique kind of more down and you happen to be watching this video anyway, go for one of those maybe. They're great razors. So soap for today is going to be Amici by Italian Barber. I absolutely love this soap. I believe on the Italian Barber website it goes for $2.99, which is absolutely insane. It's a great product. You get, I mean, with all the Italian barbers, you get 4 ounces of shaving soap. So at $2.99, I mean, you're paying less than $1 an ounce, and that's incredible. So that's why I chose to go with Amici. So brush and razor, or not brush, sorry, soap and razor are going to be a little more budget friendly. And then I'm going to go with the, have it soaking right here, the Savile 3324, just because I've really been loving it recently. On my trip I took my West Coast shaving brush, and it is a good brush, but when I got back home I came back to this, and oh man, it is so good. You know, if you're a new guy watching this, brand new to wet shaving, and you're looking to pick up a first brush, I mean, this is an amazing brush, but I'm pretty sure it's close to $150 total after, you know, shipping and everything. So it does look quite hefty, and I mean, is it worth, you know, the $150 price tag? That's more for you to decide. I don't regret the purchase at all. But some cheaper options out there are the Omega 10066, the Boar. I do have that, and I was kind of contemplating using that today, but for a tutorial video, figured I'd rather go with something I'm comfortable with. And then synthetics are another option. I personally don't have really any experience with synthetics, but you know, guys swear by them nowadays. They seem to be really good, and I mean, I'd recommend them if I had experience with them. You can probably go watch some other people who have a lot more experience with synthetics. Chris Madden, another cut above, he absolutely loves synthetics. He's got a bunch. I mean, he's just the one I can think of off the top of my head. I watch a bunch of other guys who use them too, but he's just the one that came to mind. So if I mention you, no offense. It's just, that's just the first name. But anyway, let's get on with the shave. So I was blooming my soap. I can't really get you a good view. Oh, speaking of views, let me just kind of show you guys what I get to shave with outside today. This is my girlfriend's house, and she lives out on the east side of the island, and due to some technical difficulties, I was worried I couldn't get this shave done today. And then I thought, oh, why not shave outside? It's a beautiful day today. So let's get started now. So I've got the soap blooming. You can't really see, but I'm gonna put some of the water on my face right now. Try to not do it right over my legs. Alright. Got a little bit of water out here, so. Important thing to remember when you shave, especially with straight, is to keep your hands nice and dry. A, you want good grip on your razor, and B, you really want to make sure you keep water away from your hinge pins. If you get water, on the razor inside the scales, not too big of a deal. You can always dry that. But you get water inside of your hinge pins, and it is, I've heard, I've never done it yet, it's quite difficult, almost impossible to completely dry. I'm just gonna get loaded right here. And your razor is gonna start getting some damage, rust damage, where you got that water. So we're just gonna load it like we hate it. And I've been semi-avoiding using this soap. Not because I don't like it, but because, as I mentioned in a past video, I'm a little OCD about having matching aftershaves and soaps. And I do have the matching splash for Amici. But, as you will see at the end of the video, I'm almost out. And Italian Barber has not restocked Amici in a little bit of time, and when they do, I'm probably gonna have to buy like 2 or 3 so that I make sure I have it. Oh, so I do have a towel sitting right here on my lap so that I can make sure I keep my hands dry, and it's also where I'm going to wipe my razor. As far as that goes, I have seen guys either, just gonna get lathered here. Just on a quick note, I don't think I'm the best latherer ever, so this isn't really going to be a lather tutorial. So if you want a lather tutorial, I could probably do one. Any mistakes that I make, people who are new are also probably making as well, so might be good. And if any guys who already know how to straight shave are watching this and want to chime in with some extra advice, I would greatly appreciate that. Like I said, I'm a relative noob, and I am by no means an expert. I'm just a dude who enjoys a good shave. So we've got 2 days of growth here too. And I lost my train of thought on the other thing I was saying. But, yeah, we got 2 days of growth here. And then when I do the left side, I'm just going to move you over to the left side. Apologies in advance for the long video. I've been rambling. We're 13 minutes in. I'm finally lathered. So, just gonna clean the lips. Oh, it's come back to me. As far as cleaning the razor during the shave, you can use the method I'm going to use today. So have the towel. You're going to do your pass. When the razor gets too built up, you're going to use the towel, clean off the blade, and carry on. The method that I normally do is I will use running water to clean off my blade, and then I'll have a towel on the side as well to dry it. The reason I do that is just because I don't want to be using a new towel every day. that's just my preference. If you want to use a new towel every day, go for it. More power to you. And then I have heard of some people doing the old method of, filling the sink with water and trying to wash the blade off that way. But especially for straight guys, I have heard of people accidentally clanking their edge on the inside of their sink and damaging both their sink and their edge. So that is something to be mindful of. So we're gonna get started. We're gonna go first pass. We're gonna go with the grain. Little geo-fat boy thing. We're gonna clear the runways. So, like I said, we're making sure our hands are nice and clean. And then, little thing, when I was shaving with one of my razors once, the Weigh-In Butcher, I wasn't being very mindful of grabbing the razor, and I grabbed it, and when I was coming down with my thumb caught the heel on the blade, and I had a real nice cut on there. So, as they always say, with straight razor shaving, only do it when you've got some time. Don't be in a rush. I'm pretty sure I was trying to rush. I was trying to grab the blade quickly and got my finger pretty good. But here we go. We're gonna start. So I'm just gonna find where I want to put my sideburn real quick. So I like bottom. Alright, that looks good. So, just want to make sure everyone's seeing okay. The angle that I'm using, if you can see, it looks relatively close. If you use too open of an angle, you're going to be scraping your skin. And important thing, as always, is to stretch the skin. The reason you want to stretch the skin is because you want a flat surface for the blade to glide across. If you're not stretching, you potentially run the risk of the skin kind of bunching up a little bit and you cutting yourself. For me, a good way I found to test how you should grab and things like that is to kind of just run your finger over your skin like you would be doing with a blade. And if you feel that, a surface can be stretched, flattened without necessarily pulling, like for me, I pull right here, and I'm just gonna get started with my first strokes. And you just want to take nice small strokes down, nice and easy. And if this is your first day on your shave, that might be good enough. But as I go on, when I get to my cheeks, I can just leave my hand here and then put some air into my cheeks. And that's good enough for my stretch. Other guys like to start adjusting their hand, and that may work, but just for me, I don't need to, so I don't. So here we go, we're gonna get the cheeks done now. So stretch the skin right here. We're gonna puff some air in. And that's my cheeks. So, another tip that I give is to not only stretch, but sometimes to stretch skin where you may want it. So for me, I'm stretching my jawline right here. And now, underneath my jawline is done. And my jawline, it kind of really likes to round down. So to shave it normally, I would have to come down and then really turn that blade and then turn it back. And that's a pretty difficult maneuver. So just stretch the skin to where you need it to be. Make your shave a little easier. So now we're gonna do the lips. So you want to keep real light pressure for yourself. Not press at all. Really just let the razor do the work. You know, if you go too light, you feel like it's not cutting, just go back, maybe just a slight push. So the chin's going to be the most difficult area for most people, because that's where the direction you're going is going to really change. So the bulb right here, when you have to round, so that'll take some practice. So if you're going from DE to straight, just do your best right there, and then when you're done with your straight, maybe just clean it up with the DE. If you're making the jump from cartridge to straight, you were a brave soul, and I congratulate you. But yeah, just clean it up. With your cart after. So you can see I'm stretching my neck down here. So next I'm covering my neck. On my neck, my hair grows towards my ear like that. So from my jaw to my ear, actually from my jawline to the bottom of my neck, it actually goes to my ear. Even though I'm calling this a with the grain pass, this is actually closer to a cross grain. But you know, it's worked for me. I've had no issues doing it this way. And for the jaw, I could come across like that. I haven't needed to, but I could. But for the neck especially, it would be a real odd stroke to try and come across that way on my neck. But right side is done. So let me just see if I can adjust you guys. Okay. Alright. Cool. Now left side is done. Or left side is going to get started. I'll probably leave you guys there, just so that I'm not moving you so much. But, oh. Could use a little bit of a refresh, because I've been talking for so long. Yeah, now don't take this as a knock against the soap. It is great stuff. It's just I was rambling on for so long that lost a little bit of moisture, and I am outside, so I got a little bit of wind going. But same thing. You know, if you guys are nervous about using your left hand, even if you can get the complete right side of your face done, just do maybe your sideburns or sideburns and cheek, and then call it. But when you go to, you know, finish up on the left side of your face, try to practice using your left hand. When I was DE shaving and I knew I wanted to start straight shaving, I actually just started doing passes on the left side of my face, at least with the grain. When I go against and I do my finishing passes, I actually just stick to my right hand, as you'll see. But yeah, just try to work that left hand in somehow, you know. It won't be the exact same motion, but you know, at least your left hand won't feel so odd when it's used. So if you want to try that, I'd recommend that. That's what I did. So here we go. Get the cheeks done. Mustache. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna stretch that jaw again. Under the neck. Alright, and there's our first pass. And I have already gone on longer than any video I have made before, so we're probably looking at a long one here, folks. So just set that down, use my little cup, rinse my face off. Alright, so we're gonna dry. Wipe right here. Try to see if I can get that nice and dry before I finish. And then we're gonna re-lather. So as far as stropping goes, I will go over stropping in a separate video. Probably tomorrow or the day after. Alright, so right here, we're gonna start pass number 2. So it's gonna be mostly against the grain, like I said. Cross neck is gonna be kind of a cross grain, but gets it pretty clean. So, like I said, make sure the hands are dry. I've been trying to really dry my hands on the towel right here, and gym cream on the forehead, and make sure the area of your skin that you're gonna stretch is dry. And the grip I use on the left side is this grip right here, so scales are down. So basically, the exact same grip, you're just turning it. I like to grab a little closer to the blade. So, that's my grip right there. And then when you put the blade to your face, when you went with the grain, you wanted a little bit of space, so probably about that angle right there. When you're coming against the grain, you're actually almost going to leave the spine almost on your skin. That is great. And then another thing, in regards to going back to first razors, buying a GD like this is just a recommendation because it's a good budget way to get into it. If you want to go and spend the money on something real good, like you're dead set on doing this, then go for it. I actually wanted to start straight razor shaving probably about 4 years ago. So I went to to Artist Shaving, and I picked up one of their TIs. First shave I did, I absolutely butchered my face, and I dropped the blade, and I chipped the toe. So, like I said, maybe a budget blade is a little bit better while you're learning, just so that, you know, if I were to break the toe on this, it's not the end of the world. I didn't just put over $100 into it. But, oh, back to the shave. So right here on my jawline, like I said, my jawline starts growing towards my ear, so to go against the grain, I just come directly across, and then I'll clean it up again. For my chin, I go double cross, so I'll go cross grain, and then when I do my cleanup pass next, I'll go cross grain again. Reason being, A, I seem to pick up more hairs like that. I get a cleaner shave, and B, I've seen some barbers in you know, barbershop shave videos just go across the grain, and it could be the client's hair growth, but I've probably watched about like probably over 5 guys get shaves, and they all come across. So unless all 5 guys are, you know, have chin hair growing every which way, then that seems to be an effective way to get the shave done. Didn't quite clean it off there. And then again, still talking a bit, so just go for a refresh, and right side actually looks okay. So here we go. Gonna go up on the cheeks now. On this against the grain, it's important to be wary of your ears. You want to keep those attached to your body. And then for the mustache, I'm going to come across the grain, and then on my cleanup, I will do a direct against the grain, or the fool's pass, and if you know you're new, or even if you're experienced, a lot of guys will steer away from that pass, and rightly so. If you're unconfident with it, it can be dangerous. But I was actually doing that since I first decided to start straight razor shaving. Was it ill-advised? Probably, but so far I've still got my nose. So I will demonstrate a fool's pass, but if you are unconfident with it, or don't feel the need to, stick to another double cross. So go across the grain once, and across the grain again. Or, you know, if you're already satisfied with the shave, don't even go across again. Oh, apologies. So for this, I'm going with more of a, they say a kamisori style grip. So scale straight with the razor, and then I just hold it by the heel and shave like that. Now for the jawline, then we'll go with scales facing the blade. Alright, now going up on the cheeks, going with a kind of an interesting grip there, but gives me good control. And that is awesome. All right. Looking good. All right. Trying to find a clean area of this towel to dry off my hands. So here we go. Last and final. So I do kind of a cross grain on my cheeks and jaw, and then on the neck, I'll go upper half goes up, lower half goes down with a little bit of a J hooking technique, which if you're first starting out might be a little tough, so just come straight down, or if you have a DE system that works for you, like you just go up or you just go all down, stick to that. So we're gonna come across right now. And like I said, do a double cross grain on the chin. And if you pull the skin well enough, you can get, at the very least, a damn fine, or in my case, I even get a BBS. You can see I'm bleeding a little bit right there, just a little bleeder. But with the straight razors especially, if you've got any bumps or anything, the straight razor does not care. So if you run over a bump, you will most likely lose that bump. So like I said, halfway on the neck goes up. And then we'll do the down pass later. So now we're gonna come across on this side. And we're gonna cover underneath the neck. Ooh. Well, yep, got everything. Do another upstroke there, and that is excellent. So now we're gonna come down on the, oh, there's that shaving cream in my towel. Alright. Make sure you have a good grip. There we go. And here's that J hook. And now that I think about it, when I first do my with the grain pass, I do a little bit of a slide. So I'll come down, slide across. There we go. And refresh the mustache. Alright, so I like to grab real close to the blade, even almost kind of on the blade, and then alright, so that's one. And that's it. And there you have it, folks. Just saw my girlfriend, sorry. And that's 3 passes all done. And so now we're gonna rinse off. That wasn't absolute top-notch shape. And the residual slickness on this stuff is really impressive for the price you're paying, and it is a vegan soap also. Alright, so now we're just gonna finish with some splash, and we are at 45 minutes. I am very sorry. So Amici splash, shake that up, put a nice healthy dose on. Excellent. Alright guys, if you have any other questions, feel free to comment. And aside from that, I hope I covered everything for everybody. Awesome. Love that menthol. But aside from that, hope you enjoyed it. Again, sorry it was so long. And have a good one. See you.